Going back to the gray man and why would you want to be one?
Yeah.
Right. Well, there's a lot of reasons. Number one, you're not going to be.
What percentage do you think of crimes that you're on the scene of have a firearm, and they were I don't know, 20%, 50%, 100%, because
a legal concept called defensive display. Everybody knows you pull a gun out, you're kind of brandishing. And if you point it at someone, that could be considered aggravated. Kind of dip back into the personal development thing. Ego gets a lot of people in trouble.
Oh yeah.
And most people don't even understand the psychology around ego.
In the firearms community, there seems to be just a lot of ego, and everybody thinks that they're just the toughest, baddest. And I worked in the industry and as a business owner, and had to hear all the ways that every person was just the baddest person at that gun show, or why I should be impressed with them, and just constant qualifying comments that well, tell you what, puffy chested. And it was gross, and I couldn't stand it anymore, because I'm very much the type of person who does not like to be around egocentric people. If you have to tell me how cool you are, I'm probably not going to think that you're cool.
Right.
And don't worry, you'll be all right. Just keep editing the videos.
Brandon's pretty cool, everybody.
Thanks, bud. You, sir, are a winner.
Mm-mm.
Hey, easy on the mic, pal.
Sorry.
We've all punched it at some point.
So bad.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a struggle, right? Like in any industry, whether it's as a musician, somebody's like, "Oh, this piece of gear. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about.
Or
that's not how you use a compressor." It is very pervasive in the firearms, the tactical community.
Yeah.
The word tactical is a buzzword now, and it's almost gross,
Tactical.
right? So I don't want to participate in it either, and I don't want anything that I'm saying here on this podcast to sound like I have all the knowledge and people need to listen to me specifically. Like this is me and my story and how I got into firearms and the things that are important about that and what the training has taught me. So I like how the conversations will progress and we can sort of bring them around full circle, going back to the gray man and why would you want to be one?
Yeah.
Right. Well, there's a lot of reasons. Number one, you're not going to be, hopefully you don't want to be an arrogant ass, all like bringing attention to yourself,
Right.
About anything.
Right.
Like I'm a know-it-all, like, nah, forget it. But if you're unassuming and you're humble and you're willing to learn, I think you'll get a lot further.
Yeah.
Right. And part of that attitude came from, sort of the mindset that I picked up being in the community and learning from Mike, the owner of the company. He has he teaches like there's 3 pillars of being successful, and if you can get by maybe on 2, you can't be missing 2 of them. You need at least 2, hopefully all 3. And that's mindset, tactics, and fitness.
Yeah.
Right. And those 3 things can be applied to just about anything in life. It's not just about firearms tactics. It's about tactics you would use to be successful in any industry, any career, whatever. Right. If you don't have the right mindset, then you're not going to be able to. You're not going to learn. You're not going to be invested. You're not going to be dedicated, motivated. You're not going to persevere, right? If you're not fit, mental fitness along with physical fitness, you don't have to be like a triathlete, right? But you mentioned the 300-pound guy who's like, you need to carry this, and some of these people who are not physically fit at all act like badasses and they can take care of this or that or do whatever. And sure, man, maybe you're a good shot, but can you run a mile if you need to?
Right.
Right. So
same in the prepper community. I see that all the time.
Right. Like you need to be physically fit. You obviously lift heavy things. I can lift heavy things, not as much as him or as long as him, but if I need to, I know I can lift a heavy thing, right?
Right.
I know I can run. I'm not the most fit person in the world, but going back to those three pillars: mindset, fitness, and tactics. If you have all three of those, then you'll probably be successful in whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
And I think going back to mindset is, be humble, be willing to learn, and don't. I don't. What are the right words? Maybe it's humility, and humble keeps coming to mind, but there's no need to be flashy and show off anything. I've had the fortunate opportunity to train with some highly skilled military operators.
The most powerful men that I've met, they don't sell themselves. They don't need to give their resume so that you're impressed with them, because they don't care.
Well, I think that also comes from truly understanding what it means in terms of like responsibility. And it's not just everyone. I would hope that every person who carries a firearm understands that they're now responsible for. They have to be a responsible firearms owner.
Not
right?
even close.
That right. We hope, and then we know there's tons of people out there who don't get training or anything like that. We hope that they store them safely, so that accidents don't happen, that kind of thing.
Right.
But it goes beyond that. And this is going back to the mindset that I was talking about. And I think this also now feeds the gray man and the humility and everything that I try to operate in. And that's a broader responsibility of what it means to carry a firearm and be a protector.
Yeah.
You don't brag. You don't go looking for trouble. You don't act like you're a tough guy. No, you have a very sort of a solemn responsibility to understand that okay, I carry a gun. I can take people's lives with it. Right? Now, I don't ever want to have to pull a firearm. Like, I don't ever want that to happen, right? I'd rather have the tool and use it if, God forbid, a situation became necessary than find myself needing a tool and not having it, right? So, cool, I'll carry a gun. But I have to completely understand the responsibility of what that means. Any place that I go now, any situation that I'm involved in, there's now a firearm involved.
Yeah.
It's mine, right? I have to be extremely careful.
Was it
Chris?
Was it Chris or was it one time? I think it was one time. There is
Yeah,
a firearm on every scene.
No, I think it was Chris.
Was it? Okay. Yeah.
He was talking about one of his supervisors had said, like, came into the room and said, "Hey, what percentage do you guys think at the academy? Yeah. What percentage do you think of crimes that you're on the scene of have a firearm?" And they were, I don't know, 20%, 50%, 100%, because you bring them.
Exactly.
And like, I used to be a big fighter, like street fighting and all that. Like,
a little rabble rouser.
I was going to touch on that too. I think we're probably going to go into the same vein.
When I started carrying a firearm, that stopped immediately, because it's no longer just, bloody nose or something like that, black eyes. Like, now we're on a whole different level, because I cannot get into a fight and not worry about possibly losing my firearm. And it just upped the stakes so much so that it stopped me from being in that headspace all the time of like, well, then I'll just go punch him in the mouth.
Yeah.
Because that's who I used to be. And now it's like, no, I can't do that. I'm a responsible gun owner. Like, I carry a firearm.
I would say that people don't even consider just how much life changes if you even just draw the weapon.
Yeah.
The entire course of your life, that the timeline that you're on shifts even if you just draw it. People really don't think about the severity of, hey, I have this, I'm brandishing, whether or not you intend to use it, and quite frankly, if you're not going to use it.
Yeah, there's a concept, a legal concept called defensive display. Everybody knows you pull a gun out you're kind of brandishing. And if you point it at someone, that could be considered aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. But we as responsible firearm owners have a responsibility to de-escalate, right? To remove yourself from the situation.
If possible.
That if possible. And I'm not talking about like castle doctrine and stand your ground law and all that kind of stuff. Yes, those things can be debated and all this stuff. I'm not saying you should always retreat and run away. I'm saying if possible, diffuse the situation. Because you have a gun. Like you don't know how bad things can go.
Right.
And a couple 2 points I want to make, going back to the defensive display. So if you put your hand on the gun, you have a responsibility now you should call the police and explain what happened and explain that you informed the person that you're armed in one of three ways. Maybe you said, hey, stand back, I've got a gun, or you put your hand on the gun. That's the same thing as telling somebody from a legal perspective that you have a firearm. You don't want anybody else calling the cops and saying, this dude pulled up his shirt and he's got a gun, right? So you're kind of legally obligated to protect yourself and to follow the law and say, hey, this happened. I'm at the Circle K or wherever. I thought this dude was going to assault me. Yeah. I told him I have a gun. That way you're kind of protecting yourself from a legal standpoint.
What if you live in California? Should you still do that?
This is
not legal advice.
This is absolutely not legal advice. People can go look up the term defensive display and find out what it means on their own.
There's a lot of great firearms insurance companies.
Yeah,
out there.
And there's every state has different laws. I'm not telling anybody what to do, but the defensive display is a legal concept that exists. So protecting yourself legally, if you're like, you can't retreat or whatever, and you're like, man, I said back off. I've got a gun and I don't want any trouble, right? So you now kind of have to control that situation as best you can because you're not the aggressor. You're just trying to defend yourself, and you don't want to be somehow charged as like, there was a guy waving a gun, Going back to what you said, like when you draw it, how your life could change, right? 100% true. Everybody, I'll back that statement up. It's not everybody, but there's sometimes a badass attitude out there of, well, you mess with me, I'll just shoot him, or whatever it is. Okay, let's pretend that everything you did was 100% correct in terms of like self-defense or whatever it was.
Sure.
And you had the physical capability to win that fight, right? You defended yourself, but now you've taken a human life.
Right.
That's a mental battle that you now get to fight.
Well, and a legal battle,
well,
even if you're in the right.
Exactly. So there's three fights you have now. You have the physical fight, the legal fight, and the mental fight, mental and emotional. Are you capable of understanding, like, I just killed someone's dad?
Right.
Like, yes, he was attacking me, or so, but I just took another human being's life.
So this is why I always carry a pickleball set for safety.
Yeah.
Yep. A lot of guys, guns. Nope. I'm just going to.
Hey, man, how about we solve this over a game of pickleball?
Yep. Right here, right now, in the dirt. Let's go, bud.
Let's go, pal.
You and
You
me.
just want to ball some dude's pickle in the dirt, you said?
I'm pretty sure that's exactly not what I said.
Oh.
But that might be what you heard.
Sorry, the glasses threw me off.
Copy.
Well, that's another thing as we get older and we could kind of dip back into the personal development thing. Ego gets a lot of people in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
And most people don't even understand the psychology around ego.
Yeah.
Right. And what it does within them and how it you're not as much of a free thinker as you might believe yourself to be when you let your ego control everything. And and most people don't know that they're run by their ego. And
I used to be immensely, self-admittedly.
It's learning some of that humility, understanding what the psychological tool is that an ego provides you as a human being, and how it's not the be all end all of how you must behave, right?
Right.
Controlling your ego and all of that bravado and arrogance and everything goes a long way, especially because, again, you'll run into the wrong person.
Right.
I wish more people understood that an armed society is a polite society.
Yeah.
If you stop it, there was a county in Georgia or something like that where a sheriff went on the news. This was a little while ago, within the last decade, I guess, but he was like encouraging all of the homeowners, reminding them of their castle doctrine and all this kind of stuff.
Right.
And you saw like burglaries drop by 50% in that county because
Florida, that guy's pretty well known for challenging every local gang. It's like,
Right.
Yep, you want to roll up on us? That's cool. We're ready for you. You know where to find us.
Right.
Come on down.
So when you're a bad guy and you think that, or you don't know, like, oh man, most people in this town probably carry a gun.
Yeah.
This is not the town that I want to go rob houses at.
Right. Well,
You know?
and let's be real about it. Look at the states that have firearm bans, and they have statistically, as far as big cities go, dramatically higher crime rates than we do in Arizona.
Sure.
Violent crimes.
All those cities, the liberally run cities with common sense gun laws and bans and all that shit.
Common sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you have states like Arizona where there's not really a gun-free zone because there's still people carrying in it. We are not giving legal advice.
We are not, none of this. This is our common layman's understanding of things
and stuff.
and stuff in my head. Yeah.
Just got it right there.
Chris, it's been awesome having you on, brother. Thanks for
buddy.
coming out.
Appreciate it. Great conversation. Thanks, Brandon.
I'm sure you've probably heard people talking about peptides. It piqued your interest, you looked into it, but you don't know what source to trust. A lot of this stuff is coming out of China. If you're looking for a good quality peptide that's made in the United States, go to helixpure.com.